Nigeria, welcome to Newsline. Thanks for joining us. I am Becky Madujemu. Lagos is on fire. By that, I mean the heat is trending. While everyone is sweating it out and doing all they can to cool down, we have tips that could make the weather bearable. In addition to rescuing many from the wrong emergency remedies they have adopted. In the same vein, we have an expose on diabetes, with emphasis on prevention and management. Also standing tall in our lineup is a debate on the exclusion of history as a subject from the primary and secondary schools curriculum in Nigeria. The pros and cons will be analyzed, as well as the various implications it could have on the upcoming generation. Meanwhile, there's this story that will gladden your heart. A woman who received multiple gunshots following an attack will be telling her story. There are other great stories waiting to be told tonight. Make sure you see all of them. The news starts now with Nancy Gadi Anenu. Great to see you, girl.
It's same here, Becky. Thank you for joining us on the news. President Muhammadu Buhari has expressed deep sorrow and regret over the Sunday train disaster in India that killed more than 100 passengers near Pukkarayan. The president, who received the news of the train derailment and heavy loss of lives, expressed great sorrow and profound shock as he commiserates with Indian Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi and the families of the victims. A statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President, Garba Shehu, quotes the president as saying that government and people of Nigeria share the pain of the people of India. All is now set for the deployment of unemployed graduates selected in the first batch of the Buhari administration's plan to hire 500,000 Nigerians. Already, 200,000 Nigerians have been selected, and they are to start work as teachers, agric, and health workers in their communities by the 1st of next month. The selected youths are to be deployed by their state governments according to their specific program assignments. A statement by the Senior Special Assistant on Media and Publicity to the Vice President Laolu Akonde says, of the 200,000 first batch, 150,000 will teach, 30,000 will work in the agri sector, and 20,000 in healthcare delivery, covering the 3 specific program assignments. The NPower Volunteer Corps is an expression of President Muhammadu Buhari's commitment to invest in the human capital development of Nigerian citizens, particularly the young people. The NPower is also an innovative means to enhance ailing public service in the area of basic education and primary health care. Also in the agric sector, it is aimed at achieving self-sufficiency by giving farmers relevant advisory services. Government congratulates the successful applicants in the first batch, who are encouraged to take the opportunity seriously by learning the skills that will brighten their future. They are also implored to serve their communities with commitment and dedication. The statement states that subsequent batches will be absorbed more of the qualified. They will absorb more of the qualified participants. The NPower scheme is expected to engage and train 500,000 young unemployed graduates. It is a paid volunteering program of a 2-year duration and engages graduates in their immediate communities where they will assist in improving the inadequacies in the education, health, and agriculture sectors. The high-capacity 330 kV NIPP Ikotep switching center in Akwa Ibom State, designed to boost supply on national grid, has been completed and expected to be inaugurated by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo this Monday. Hamza Musa Makarfi reports.
The inauguration of the switching center constructed by Catlock International Limited is in tune with driving government's vision of incremental power supply for the nation from a number of generation plants at Afam in River State, Alauji in Abia State, Calabar in Cross River State, an Ibom plant in Akwa Ibom State. The switching center receives supply and evacuates to parts of Nigeria.
They have to be evacuated from this substation. They come in from the power plants to this substation and they get exported to Guaji, then to Makurdi, then to Jos. So this is how Nigerians who feel the power can have power plants lying idle. It's unacceptable.
It is expected the ECOT Center will be impacting on the national grid more than 1,000 megawatts of supply as other variables in the value chain work efficiently. Hamza Musa Magalipi, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari says Nigeria's vast potential in the information and communication technology, ICT, are undertapped, calling more foreign investors to come and be part of Nigeria's history. The president stated this in a message to Nigeria's Investment Forum at International Communication Union, ITU, in Bangkok, Thailand. He was represented by Minister of Communication, Mr. Adebayo Shitu. Ruben Okala reports.
The Nigeria's Investment Forum engaged international delegates and potential investors with a round of talks highlighting investment opportunities that abound in Nigeria. Discussions centered on success, strategies, and goals for the infusion of ICT across various sectors of the economy as a tool for national development. Former ITU Secretary General Dr. Hamadun Ture was the guest speaker.
When I was in ITU for 5 years in a row, Nigeria was ranked number 1 in mobile growth. If you are number 1 5 times in a row, you must have done something right.
The forum is with the theme Accelerating Investment in ICT for National Development.
We are migrating from resource-based industrialization and growth to knowledge-based industrialization and growth, which we are sure would certainly take us beyond our imagination.
The telecommunication sector has proven to be resilient, stable, and therefore contributes an average of between 3 to 4 billion naira per quarter.
Our infrastructure presents a more reliable way of transmitting data.
Nigeria, through the NCC, is using this forum to invite prospective foreign investors to come and do business in Nigeria, especially in the broadband, towards widening the scope of the industry. Ruben Okala, NTA News.
Now to insurgency matters. Despite the ongoing intensified deployment of troops, equipment, and massive onslaught against Boko Haram members, those willing to surrender will be considered. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Abayomi Gabriel Olani Shaki, said this while on a working visit to Maiduguri. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa has details.
The operational visit is to motivate and commend troops in the region and to deliver the goodwill message of President Muhammadu Buhari.
That the nation appreciates their effort and they should continue to do much more until we get the job done.
While inspecting some recently acquired war arsenal, the Chief of Defense Staff said the military is set to completely dislodge and destroy the remnant of Boko Haram in the area.
We put up Operation Safe Corridor Initiative to have them surrender. That corridor is always open. However, we will not wait until they surrender. That's why the operation crackdown now leading to Rescue Final is in place to ensure that we take over the Sambisa.
He was also at the 7th Division Medical Service to console wounded soldiers. The Chief of Defense Staff is expected to, on 21st November 2016, launch and make public additional list of wanted Boko Haram members. Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Niger State Police Command deployed units of tactical security operatives to check the activities of cattle rustlers and hoodlums operating in Shiroro local government area of the state. This followed the recent attacks on some villages by cattle rustlers that led to the death of 6 people. Mukhtar Abubakar Wawa reports. Details of this report will be coming to you later. The Nigerian Air Force, NAF, has destroyed another set of illegal oil barges in Rivers State. A statement by Director of Public Relations and Information, Group Captain Ayodele Famuyiwa, says 2 of the latest barges filled with stolen oil were set ablaze by NAF helicopters on armed patrol around Koromabie and southeast of Port Harcourt Refinery. The third barge, surrounded by canoes carrying drums, was sighted at One, while individuals around the barge and canoes fled when fired at, but the barge did not explode, indicating the possibility of being empty. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Air Force and War College Makurdi has inaugurated its first set of participants as its Course 1 2016. In his message, Defense Minister Brigadier General Masroudan Ali said the institution will help address security challenges in the country. Online Kaojo reports.
First set of participants for the Air War Course 1 2016 comprise of 18 group captains, 7 wing commanders, and 2 Navy commanders. The inauguration comes with the unveiling of the college logo by the Chief of Defense Staff, General Abayomi Olonishaki, on behalf of the Defense Minister, Mansour Dan Ali. His message dwelt on timely solutions for addressing security challenges in the country.
You must therefore put in your best to ensure that the college achieves its desired objectives.
Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, pointed out that the college will develop qualitative manpower that understands the relevance and significance of air power in resolving conflicts.
Participants of the college will be expected to be well educated on doctrine, policy, strategy. We demand absolute commitment to hard work.
On the sidelines come the inspection of ongoing and some completed projects of the college. From Makurdi, Olayinka Ojo, NTA News.
On to religious affairs, Pope Francis has concluded the Catholic Jubilee Year of Mercy with calls for true repentance, reconciliation, and being agents of peace in the world, coinciding with the Feast of Christ the King, with preachment on the love of God to mankind. Talate Zerike reports.
Catholics in thousands gathered at St. Peter's Basilica for the closure of the Holy Doors of Mercy, which started on December 8, 2015. In his homily, Pope Francis pointed out the need for greater reconciliation and forgiveness as he urged the congregation to go beyond evil and difference and open every possible pathway of hope.
Nel nome del Padre, del Figlio e dello Spirito Santo.
Amen. The celebration falls on the Feast of Christ the King, also known as Corpus Christi, instituted by Pope Pius XI in 1925 to celebrate the solemnity of Christ.
Although he was king, he came as a servant of the people. Leadership is not just by the names we carry, the titles we carry, but by the good examples we lead.
For Parishioner of St. Anthony Kuji, double celebration as the day coincides with the parish priest's book presentation that provides answers to true leadership as exemplified by 7 leadership virtues of Jesus Christ.
Like now, we are talking of Aisha Buhari. People don't know that. If he gets you, whether you are a relative, you are going in.
Our leaders should also be selfless in their service to Nigerians.
As a leader, you are not to say it without doing it. When you say it and you do it, people will follow.
The book presentation is to celebrate Reverend Father Daniel Agbe's 25 years in the Lord's Vineyard.
Once they are there, they think that it is their own time to loot and satisfy their own ambition and with that of their families. And they are not bothered, they are not sensitive to the sufferings of the people.
Talati Ezeriki, NTA News.
Nigerians have been challenged to trust God to see them through and not give up, no matter the situation. Senior Pastor, Evangelical Church, Winning All, Reverend Baraje Marigadi, gave this message at a service in Abuja to mark the 2016 Africa Safety Day for road traffic crash victims. Ifani Ezumba reports.
Reverend Marigadi, while speaking on benefits of obedience, emphasized on mass orientation on the significance of obeying highway codes.
We need to be patient in our driving. We need to be very careful, follow the rules so that we can save life.
To remember that we all need to read the news carefully because anything could happen to anybody. So just to create public awareness on the incidences of road safety crashes.
The Primate Anglican Communion, Most Reverend Nicholas Oko, has commended the federal government in its fight against Boko Haram insurgency, but emphasized that more has to be done to consolidate the success so far recorded.
Government must continue to emphasize there should be no relaxation
there should be no relenting. The military must continue to do their very best to protect the people who have returned to the villages.
This was at the 2016 annual diocesan confirmation and admission of women into Mothers Union. Abuja, Ifani, Izumba, NTA News.
Now let's reintroduce the story on cattle rustlers. The Niger State Police Command deployed units of tactical security operatives to check the activities of cattle rustlers and hoodlums operating in Shiroro local government area of the state. This followed the recent attacks on some villages by cattle rustlers that led to the death of 6 people, Mukhtar Abubakar reports.
In response to the recent attacks by some hoodlums believed to be cattle rustlers on Kukoki village in Shiroro local government area of Niger State, the State Police Command mobilized men and resources for an onslaught against the hoodlums, bedeviling the area to flush them out of the state. The team comprises unit of mobile policemen, anti-robbery and anti-kidnapping squads. The State Commissioner of Police, Zubairu Muazu, while challenging the officers and men of the police force on special duty to the area to adhere strictly to the rules of engagement, directing them to restore peace and order in the area.
This situation is unacceptable to us. We can't sit down and fold our arms and watch these criminals dislodge innocent citizens.
The Commissioner of Police had earlier visited the victims of the attack in Pandogari, where they are taking refuge, and assured them of the police efforts to safeguard their lives and property. It will be recalled that after a series of attacks by hoodlums believed to be cattle rustlers few months ago on Alawa and its adjoining communities, a joint task force comprising Army, Air Force, police, civil defense, and other security operatives were deployed to Alawa to ensure peace and order in the area. In Mina, Mukhtar Abubakar, NTA News.
Still on a sad note, 1 life was lost and property worth millions of naira were raised when a canoe-bound tanker from Kaduna laden with petrol skidded off the road, spilling its content, triggering a huge fire at the Dan Magaji end of the expressway. Muhammad Umar Arginje reports.
Eyewitnesses told NTA that a pothole caused one of the tires of the trailer to explode, making the driver lose control, igniting a massive fire that took a combined effort of firefighters from Ahmadu Bello University and other stations in the city to quench the fire that lasted till the early hours of Sunday. Ayola Abe is the police commissioner at Kaduna State.
Volume of fire coming from a fully loaded truck of PMS. And if the fire brigade hadn't come in, the fire would still be burning up till this moment. So we thank God that it was contained. Unfortunately, the station was too close and it's in a slopey area, and there was nothing anyone can do at that material time.
As at the time of filing this report, the wreckages were still smoldering. In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Umar Ajingi, NTA News.
To political issues now, the All Progressive Congress APC says it is not a party to the request by a group of people on the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to postpone the November 26th governorship election in Ondo State on account of the PDP's internal crisis. The APC, in a statement by its National Secretary, Mai Malasuni, describes the request as a scheme to subvert justice and undermine the very progressive and participatory democracy which the APC fiercely stands for. The APC has therefore called on INEC to ignore the request and concentrate on delivering a free, fair, credible and transparent ballot on election day. The party enjoins Ondo electorates to vote for the candidate with a proven track record of performance, which the tested, trusted and credible APC governorship candidate Rotimi Akeredolu represents. Sokoto State is set to key into Anchor Borrowers Program of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, to further boost wheat and rice production in the state. This is coming as the Sultan of Sokoto blesses the initiative of the CBN governor at a ceremony to kickstart 2016 dry season farming in Issa local government area of Sokoto State. Musa Baba Aliyu reports.
Sokoto State is yet to make formal request for a loan facility under the Anchor Borrowers Program of the Central Bank of Nigeria. 37,000 farmers are being prepared for the program. 12,000 farmers have been documented to go into wheat production, while a registration of additional 25,000 that will produce rice have been completed.
The thrust of the agricultural policy framework in Sokoto State is aimed at reducing rural poverty and promoting economic growth, achieving food security, and providing more job opportunities for youth and women.
And under the Anko Boroughs program, which Kebbi State has benefited a lot, about 22 billion has so far been disbursed nationwide.
The central bank's governor, Godwin Emefiele, says the doors of the bank is widely open for any state that is willing to key into the Anko Borrowers program.
The loans will be disbursed not by way of cash directly to you. The loans will be disbursed by way of providing you with fertilizers, pesticides, hand pumps, and the seedlings.
And I want to assure you, CBN Governor, here we are committed, the Governor is committed, and we believe you have not misplaced your priorities by coming to partner with Sokoto State Government.
At Goronyo Dam, where over 900 million cubic meters of water was preserved for irrigation, the central bank governor appealed to the management to always make water available for all year-round farming. From Goronyo local government area of Sokoto State, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
And still talking agriculture, another set of 100 youths drawn across the 25 local government area of Niger State have been empowered following the conclusion of 2 weeks intensive training on agricultural enterprise in Kotangora. The program, which is at the instance of Niger State Fadama Coordination Office, is aimed at promotion of self-reliance, particularly at grassroots level. Mukhtar Abubakar Wowo reports.
The third National Fadama Development Project additional financing is a poverty alleviation program aimed at increasing the income of rural land and water resource users in a sustainable basis. The Fadama 3 additional financing is focused on women and unemployed youths.
It's a success story as far as I'm concerned. We want them to be the vanguard of youth.
In 1 month's time, we're going to monitor them to see what they have done with the grant given to them.
The graduation ceremony featured presentation of 100,000 naira check to each of the graduates as a take-off grant and launching of processed peppered smoked fish.
Fadama should expect me with at least 50 chickens boiler.
The money they give us, I am anticipating that in the next 6 months I should be able to double it.
The first and second phases, involving 66 youths elected from across the 25 local government areas of the state, had earlier been trained. Mukhtar Abubakar, NTA News.
The wife of the president, Aisha Buhari, has congratulated the Alakeja family in Lagos for the wedding ceremony of their son, Folarin Alakeja, and his Iranian wife, Naganin Jafarzan. Mrs. Buhari, who was accompanied to the ceremony by the wife of the Senate President, Toyin Saraki, and that of the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Gimbiya Dogara, and others, described the union as a pride of the two families, while calling Mrs. Folorunsho Alakeja and the entire family to remain the pillar of support to the new couple. The wife of the president also urged the new bride, Nagagin, and her groom, Folarin, to remain a unifying agent, not only to their family, but to society at large.
A very big congratulations to the families and also to the couple. I wish them a happy married life, and also we wish next year to gather here to celebrate the naming ceremony of twins.
Mrs. Buhari, who officiated the cutting of the wedding cake, prayed God to bless them with fruitful and blissful children. And now to sports. Super Falcons begins women's African title defense on a winning note, and Andrew Odo wins 2016 Nigeria Golf Masters in Abuja. Ayodeji Makinde brings us more on sports update.
Nigerian Masters of IBB International Golf and Country Club Abuja Sunday, completing a fight back to record 292 shots over 72 holes ahead of their 3 joint leaders, Kabiru Haruna and Ghana's Vincent Toga. Odo, who was winning his 36th title as a professional, finished 2 shots ahead of Toga, while Kabiru Haruna, Boyega Oyebanji and Mike Ubi tied for 3rd with a score of 297.
This is actually my 5th this year from 7 starts, which I'm really happy about. But again, the major goal is to go and play in a more bigger league, make progress and get to the next level.
We have to grow golf, and we have a lot of guys from outside Nigeria, and hopefully Nigeria will see that golf has come to stay.
Nigeria's Super Falcons began their Women's Africa Cup of Nations title defense on an emphatic winning note, thrashing Mali 6-0 at Stade Limbe, Cameroon Sunday, with Asisat Oshuala scoring 4 times. The coach, Florence Omagbemi team, opened scoring through US-based Francisca Odega in the 22nd minute before Uchechi Sunday scored Nigeria's 3rd on both sides of a hat-trick by 2014 Africa Women Footballer of the Year Oshuala. Nigeria next meet arch-rivals Ghana's Black Queens Wednesday with a win certain to push them through to the semi-final. Meanwhile, Nigeria's Falconets left it too late as their 2-1 win over Spain on Sunday failed to take them through to the quarter-final of the 8th FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup final in Papua New Guinea. Although they finished with 6 points, same as Japan, who beat Canada 5-0, Nigeria had a deficit of 3 goals, while the Japanese had +10 to their advantage. With sports updates, Ayodeji, Makinde, NTA News.
And the report just reaching us now says that Andy Murray has won the 2016 ATP World Tour Finals in London to end the year as tennis world #1. It's congratulations to you, Andy Murray. And now a quick check on the weather for Monday.
Hello. Good to have you join us again on the weather segment. I am Susan Opara. In the past 2 days, we've observed a slight increase in maximum temperature values over the north, and it means that it will continue to be hot and uncomfortable. This could be as a result of clear skies that we are experiencing right now over the north. And so, with that, we expect the northern cities, especially the extreme north, to be in dust haze, though in slight condition. Moving down south, the central cities will be sunny and hazy. Now, due to the influence of moist southwesterly winds over the southern cities, we expect places around Obudu, Enugu, Akure, some parts of the inland cities of the south down to the coast will experience isolated thunderstorms and light showers in the evening hours. And that's where we conclude the weather forecast for Monday. Temperature details will be here in just a moment. Stay tuned.
Remember, you can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. We'll now take a short break. Newsline continues after it.